They probably don't realize. Yeah, they don't realize that you're walking to meet them.
Alright, so maybe I can ask one question. So, do you mean like different activities like company facilitating the membership, etc. for staff? Or I'm not really or don't have it.
So is that something that you'll want?
Yes.
Yeah, that's something I personally interested in.
Same.
Yes, because or something membership. Well, that's not.
So
You could put him in charge of it.
He was the guy.
remember the ratio I said, right? 1 to 1,200, right? Okay, so about that. So therefore, I look for my champions. So so those are the kinds of things that they.
Daniel Black.
All right. Mm-hmm. So it's writing down the name, I'm writing down the idea. She's writing it down, so it's coming soon. Exactly. Benefits. I'm going to say, hey, Sarah. So about that idea.
Relations. This will be one of the employee relations thing. Anything else on any other wonderful suggestions or questions? No?
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry, I'm just telling someone your name as well.
Sorry, Andrew. So, main the time that I'm standing outside the building, see customers coming. The door for themselves, welcome here.
Right.
That means something. So I'm wondering if it's something that we can do that when persons come to our home garden, we can make it an experience for them.
So it's interesting that you raised that because the person who's in charge of customer experience, of the Guardian Life of the Caribbean and his family, we were looking at talking about, and also with your president, the matter. We were talking about how we have to dig deep into the customer experience, map the customer journey from the time they enter the door to the time to the move to what is the experience like, and really take our customer experience to the next level. And so therefore we are in the midst of looking for that customer experience person. Just yesterday I sent him some JDs to make sure that we are searching for the right kind of skills, qualities, and so forth in terms of that person. What is the experience we need? So, but there could be quick wins. So that is a quick win. That is something that we can implement. Just even if it's the welcome. But know that on a larger scale, we're looking at the customer experience to make sure. Yeah, because I understand, right? I remember one saying I was not buying a vehicle from, I believe, the company Needlet at all. Because the service, after service, after you buy the vehicle, you sit in it, you enjoy it, especially if it has real nice suspension and whatever. The service was the after service was so horrible. I just didn't want to shop with them anymore.
Yes, I even know that the weather is so hot. We have a pool in our branch that's the food branch. So you find that all the customers come and by the time they get in the building, they're so hot and they need something to drink and they don't have a fountain. So I think we should have either a fountain, something with a glass or something just in the lobby area. So that when people come in, they can get something cold right there to drink even before they get into the other offices.
And name?
Yeah, or hot, Zelda.
Zelda. Okay. Thank you, Zelda. Thanks, Andrew.
I took that you mentioned earlier something about.
So all this money sitting down because you say you get 2 cents. You're by the time I'm finished. I ready to invest? Come on, man.
You mentioned earlier about a Calypsonian, and I remember there's another company here who right now it's crop over 25. One of
50 years.
Yeah. One of our competitors to bring unity among our service guarding group, because I would say even though we all work in a warm building, I still feel that it's segregation around it. The life concept, the customer service in general, even we work in warm buildings. So having like a event among the Guardian group itself to bring the Barbadian culture together, to bring different departments together too as well. So an event to bring unity, something to bring the whole group together.
See your daddy. Your daddy. Your daddy can
I
work
mean, why
together.
not? The answer to that is why not? Absolutely, we should be having something, just like what we have in Trinidad, we should have it here.
Yeah.
And why are we not having it here? We will fix. Yes. But they are selling, I guess, proper, this is 50 years.
Yeah.
There's a lot of history inside of that.
Correct.
And even as one Guardian group, we are like thinking we all can do some kind of a group, even if it's a video or a display or something, which I'm going to talk to you about, that the group can appreciate in terms of what is happening here in Barbados. What are our members and in Barbados are celebrating and looking towards. So we can come back in terms of not just us being to be doing things for the body. So the body is feeding itself. Yeah. Excellent ideas. Anyone else?
Here we have a lot of observation days. Well, we got a lot of work observation days and months like mental health, stuff like that.
On your calendar in Barbados, you mean?
Yeah, we have like October is mental health.
Mhm.
Probably do a employee activity or a seminar so around around mental health. Also we have like diabetes, world diabetes, stroke, or we can have a day we can get present stuff.
Right. So we have in Trinidad, we have a total life care committee that deals with only wellness. So what I will do is speak to the sponsor and the leader of the committee about extending that here and maybe forming a total life care committee or subcommittee here so that, because we do all of those things.
Mhm.
In Trinidad, we do all of those things, we would have a mobile bus come around and check your blood pressure and whatever, and just all of those things at particular times of the year. So we actually do that also. And even before you said it, as the suggestions came in, I thought immediately that would be something that you all would appreciate.
Right.
So we would look into that as well, yeah?
So my question is, so then these suggestions are really nothing new to Guardian in general, at least for Trinidad. But then it'll be new for us. It's not offered to us. So then where is that?
Why? Even not there? So we were not there. We have not been here, yes. We've been here about 9-10 months. So, and obviously this is our first visit to Barbados. So we're now being made aware of concerns. So we did not know before. At least things weren't coming directly to me. I did not know. And whatever Taryn would have found out would have been
Was very recently.
right? So,
And started having conversations right away when it was raised.
Yeah.
So I guess I should just expand on that side. So it's a new guardian. I know it may look the same, feel the same probably, but it's a new guardian you're living in. Right? Your group CEO, what, just crossed 2 years?
Yes.
Your chief human resource officer, Fahim Mohammed,
just crossed 1
just
year.
crossed 1 year. The group health, safety and environment manager from HSC just crossed 1 year. We still
trying to get to the
end up for our benefits. But we're telling people about
Right, okay.
we still sign up. Right? But I'm putting yours in place before mine. Right? But that's the reality of that you were walking in. And we roll out the work strategy policy. We are looking at, we had IR sessions so far in Trinidad, but we are meeting with the BEC while we're here because we want to have the same sessions here. So we're already looking at rolling things out here as well as in Trinidad and sort of making everything one. So the same tools and support and training. I'm talking. You can ask Alexis. I lobby. I say, no, we're doing a team leader training. We want Barbados there.
I went and got business case to say, no, we don't just want them online, we want them to fly them in. So they can meet their colleagues, get a sense of oneness that you all are talking about and come and interact because they can share ideas and best practice with the other team leaders in Trinidad and Tobago. And so I hope you have new friends now.
I was able to put the faces to the names and just the persons I interact with on a regular. Sorry.
Yeah. And so that's what we're trying to do. So it's a new guardian. So don't pull that to say, what I say this? They didn't do nothing yet. Let the ideas come in, let the suggestions come in so that we can keep building and the guardian that we want to see and that we want to be a part of.
I'm Roger Eversley.
Mhm.
One of the feelings that we have in marketing is we are chill. And say that.
I feel like that yes, so. I feel like that every day. Because my BU is Guardian Shared Services Limited.
Uh,
Right?
Guardian
Like a
has too
stepchild.
many stepchildren. Yeah, talk of them.
Look, you more like outside church.
Fine, you'll win, you'll win. You'll adopt all of us, right?
Yes, I'm sending adoption, people adopting and good stuff.
So they were really glad that you guys are here, right? Hence the welcome, right? One of the things that I felt, from home to half year meeting, if you were here, you probably would felt it. Everybody kind of like that's on device. We have a few television screens in our office, so we're able to watch it. The team. That's what PS Force every match, right? A lot of people we own devices, but we got for home. And but entering that everybody was together. Right? You know that
Wait, so
most
question.
the room with your you wanted to come. You could have come, right?
And for yours, it would have been, state support would have been non-fashion as well?
Is it town hall that I spoke?
Town hall.
No, this is the mid-year,
Oh,
blast off mid-year.
Gotcha. So I was not present.
Blast off
So I have no idea what's happening. Okay, good. All right.
But in Barbados, here we got blast off, right? I know there was some kind of freshmen and stuff. We could have probably gone to Hilton or something, even if we watched it on the screen, it's all of us together to share that energy, right? But it's very segmented. You don't have a blast off, mid-year blast off. It's happening in Trinidad, but you're asking us to watch it on the screen or may not talk. All the distractions that all make sense for them.
All right.
Everyone work at the premium. So it's not the same. So hence the step child, kind of feeling.
And that impacts performance as well, because the whole point of the whole blast off mid-year review is there.
And how do you do? Because everybody should be together.
Yeah.
So even if orbit to Barbados, because Barbados is good, right? And if you tell me you want to dominate Barbados, not.
Yeah.
So don't think you're going to reproduce the same thing you have in Trinidad. The Barbados is going to take over. The Jordan is going to take over the market. All right, bro. Right? But one of the things if we say we want to, we're gonna put things in place
Agreed.
from the human standpoint, so that people could feel a sense of I think I'm a part of it. We will dominate partners. If we do stuff like that, right? It will happen slowly, right? So from a country standpoint or corporate standpoint, we need to put these things.
So in Trinidad for blast off awards, all these different events, we do have it. And I know you'll have it for the TV here as well for those particular events. when you're forming that committee, invite me in. I don't have to sit on the whole entire committee all the time, but just in certain sessions to talk, and let's address those kinds of things. So, because one, what would make me aware of is what is happening when, right? So I'm aware of the Beijing calendar, sales calendar, and therefore we could start factoring those things in. In terms of saying, oh, it's coming up, and we could make a case for the, all right. Make a case with Greg.
I was waiting for the committee.
No, it's Greg's budget, so that's what I'm saying. Everyone said, so Greg, how much space you have in our budget? I would just see how big budget. I know which was just cut, but I have stuff in my budget. Hopefully my budget is not cut. Because I covered in my budget Trinidad and Barbados. I made a point of making sure I had stuff for Barbados to touch on. Well, you have stuff for employee relations, and I have stuff for employee engagement.
No, I have stuff for engagement as well.
And you have stuff for engagement as well. So we see somewhere between myself, we're waiting to see what the final. We know if we submit it. We're waiting to see what the final is.
Yeah.
So I have both lines and, and the comments on every item. And I said, President, nothing can get clashed in this. But I'm hoping, right? So depending what comes back, but I can say definitely Barbados is in my budget. And so hopefully we can execute it on everything. It start touching on some of these cases.
And this stems from, conversations you are having with so supporting. We worked together before, so this also comes from so support from other branches. Now, the agencies have competitions running here from the beginning to the end. It's a budget and stuff for competitions for the agent. However, there's nothing in place for admin staff, for motivation, well done, keep going. At the town hall, ACES program, and that would be touching all of that. All admin staff. So it was not the Glock Blast, so this is
Separate. This is.
you all were at that town hall a couple of months ago. It's supposed to be everybody. Being a very blanket.
Presenting at the town hall would have been Mr. Chinapu, Ian Chinapu,
Raheem spoke,
Mohammed
Sharon spoke, I
Sharon.
spoke.
Right. And they talked about the ACES program. So that ACES program is being made real. And that is where we celebrate all our employees.
So it's a reward and recognition,
Reward and recognition
essentially, for
for
everyone.
different things.
Yeah.
And it is to reinforce the values and the owner's mindset that you got and you got it being built. There are aspects to reinforce ACES program and expand on it that we want to continue into 2025 for Garden Life of the Caribbean. So if you remember in 2024 this year, we had changed Guardian Sales Awards to Guardian Life. We recognized Employee of the Year. So, hey, not just in Trinidad, but also here in Barbados. I have added on and again. So you all would be free, right? So I'm hoping again my budget does not get cut because I've put in there for some additional awards so we can celebrate more in different ways. Right? So I have things in there, and once again, my budget covers. And before I said Trinidad and Barbados, it covers Trinidad, Barbados, and Bermuda, which is where we have that. So yeah, truly, right now I just think my budget does not get cut, so I can do everything. And if it does get cut, then I need to get pre-heated to see what I can do and how I can do it at the lowest possible cost. So yeah, so one of the things is to
have more ways to celebrate, and stuff.
And what would be good, similar in Trinidad, we have a committee. It would be good to form a similar committee in Barbados, because I know Taryn would want to think about how can I get creative and out of the box. But we want to engage the staff to do that as well.
Definitely.
You are the ones that are here and not us. We may say, okay, have a sports day, and you might say, you know what, that's rubbish. We just had a football, we had a Guardian Group Cup on Sunday. So I might say, hey, we're big into football, we want to do that instead of having a full sports day. So those are the kinds of things. If we have a committee, the committee will engage with everyone in Barbados to get those ideas. But I'm glad that Taryn said it, because I was going to say it as well. Everything can't happen at the same time, which I think we all appreciate. We have to make sure that whatever we have in our budget at least gets you somewhere along the suggestions. It can't be zero to get you somewhere. And then we build. It's an experience, right? We want to build upon that as well.
So when, employee group is happening, you need to turn up too, right? We can't run the call to 10 people to turn up. When we say everyone, so, or, we do something, you have to be, we forget the whole, we say we want community, but you have to want it too. Yeah. And, so it's you tuning up, seeing how to see the person next to you. So I keep saying is that, it's, team industry training, and you heard Greg talking about moving away from the them and the us and stuff, because, you can't wait for them to do it. It's we have to do it. I turn up every morning and I determine that I'm going to say good morning. I'm going to greet someone. I'm going to open the door and say welcome to Guardian and smile. I wonder if Hello Gigi was launched here. You all know who Hello Gigi is?
Is that not on the elevator? Was it on there?
It's on the elevator. Yeah, but new people coming. Everybody knows who's Hello Gigi? No? Okay, so don't worry. I'll see if we can do a refresher. So even the comment about opening door and saying welcome to Guardian. The fact is you always have staff in and out that hallway. So at reception, the fact is we all are supposed to be saying to the not just waiting for reception and security to do it. We open the door and say, hey, welcome to Guardian Group. Are you being served? Are you being attended to? And if all of us have that mindset, it's like, geez, boy, you can't go anywhere. Those stores, you walk 2 inches. Hey, can I help you? Are you being served? You walk 2 inches. You just like, hey, can I help you? Are you being served? Right. So that will be Guardian. Correct. Creating a culture where we happy to serve. And another staff member come into your department, but then kind of a lost, hey, are you being served? Can I help you?
One of the things I remember from the launch of Hello Gigi that stuck with me is creating moments of magic.
Correct.
So that definitely, daily we try to do that. That's the aim, creating that moment.
Yeah, exactly.
I have another question. What would you say is a reasonable thing? From the thing that we would have, we would have a competition with the agents, so production and PSN. And many agents would have qualified on the awards. What would you say is a reasonable time that the agents actually gets those up awards?
So
What's a reasonable time, people?
that's an excellent point for me to say. Let me introduce Genevieve and Sinead. Thank you so much. Guys, pleasure being here.
Stop it. But thanks to Taryn and Sandra. And I will answer your question. I will answer your no. That wasn't my part.
Bye, guys.
First, I'd like to congratulate all 90% of quota. Please, any goalkeepers yet? 90%. So, that's performance branch in Barbados. 90.46%. And 5 agents from here already have crossed the 16,000 mark to achieve quota, to keep their contract. So 60,000 PS minimum. And so far as at June, 5 people have processed. I'll get for those 5 people to double it by December, triple it by December. We launched convention, as I said, on our laptop for Barbados, but we lost convention. The figures, of your notice, have decreased significantly. It is 20% less than last year. As a matter of fact, it is equivalent to the 2016. It is less than the 2016 convention quota. So therefore, from Barbados Film Convention, they can make about 3 or 4 agent friends. We had a good time, I figure everybody should become a convention. I mean, this what is that decree and declare that everybody go in convention. Yes. Things start, level play field. If you make 16 already, you can more than meet it. We have a year and 6 months. Yeah. So we can take in some names, watching and seeing. What we have noticed though, what we say, awards. You notice that they didn't have a branch in here. Branches need the consistency. But so what we all would be working on is not persistent. That's the reason why I got the proof for us to come. Proof for you want to meet Sinead is up here, the newest TL in the sales administration department. So she will be the person. She has been person dealing with queries. There has been queries with commissions, production, competition. It's the person who deals with it. But what we notice is a lot of people have a real problem with taking their persistencies over 90. Over 90 means they get a full bonus. They're leaving money on the table. I don't think anybody wants to leave Guardian with their money. Right? So, I went for the time, I won't go into anything like the other things we planned on. But if you have new agent statement, we could go through the reports on portal, where people have specific questions, and so then the production reports, the what's that?
Commissioners, the non-investment, the detailed list of matters.
Yes. So if anybody has questions with those reports, if we don't know how to access them on portal, we can meet after. What I do urge people to do, one, mind your business. Go on the portal. Download your production statement. Download your commission statement. You want to be clawback for delivery of policy services. And when you get clawback, how many of you all come to say, hey, I submit this quick, come back my money.
We don't have that here.
You don't have
We don't have
this
that.
branch.
No, we don't have that.
This branch. Okay.
If there's anybody, you can let me know.
But if there's anybody that mind the business.
Yeah.
So that is why you need to download the commission statement every single month. It's there for the last 5 years. If you see something say GAE on the solid details, and it's and it's a minus, that means that clawback commission for non-delivery.
It's her.
Well, she had somebody else, but she here. So she taking back. But your commission was clawed back for non-delivery. Well,
it just means that you were manually clawed for something.
For
some
something.
reason.
other ways it will be clawed as well. But GAE, first thing to check. When you send Alexis the listing, did you deliver everybody you had to deliver? If you did deliver, and you did get a clawback, like you delivered 2 months later, it's not automatic. You give it back the money, we won't know. So you have to tell us, I delivered policy contract, tell Alexis, it was delivered, please give me back my commitment. Yes. So a lot of agencies guardian with the money. Keep saving value behind the business.
So you're saying it's not automatic?
It's not automatic right now. We are in talks with IT, gonna take it forever for them to do automatic. The whole process is manual. We manually create a ticket. I know I'm feeling it takes days. Going back. That's what she does. First, was examine. Go back. Commissions for not doing it.
That's her job.
On a monthly basis. That's gonna be somebody's job though. That is crazy. On a monthly basis. It's so much.
Yeah, that's a
It's 20 to 30,000 policies. So we can't even finish. Only 1 month. It have agents leaving, people saying, well, I never got policy contract. So it may not be a problem in this branch, but it's a problem in Guardian.
So how much for Barbados you were saying?
I don't know offhand,
Mhm.
but I mean,
That
before we
would-
leave here.
Yeah,
I
that
can
would
tell
be
you,
good to know.
yeah,
Yeah.
before we leave here,
Mhm.
which they want to report every month, they tell you.
Great.
Not for Barbados. But it's a big problem. Right? And because it's manual, you have to let us know.
Non-delivery of policy.
Yeah.
I can't think about anybody here. Better delivery.
Because, it's the acknowledgement letter of scripts,
Right.
the turnaround time. I think that is a gray area.
The no time, wait it done. So I go,
The legal period, sorry.
10-day free look period.
mm,
Question marks regarding what is the real time frame for the legal period? Because, by acquisition would say it's 10 days from the date they entered it in the system.
Oh.
That sometimes, or that does, but, the agents out there, it's not valid, right? Because that is done on a Friday or, 3 o'clock, so it's important to not get to distribute. So that's,
10 business days or 10 days.
10 days. No, it doesn't stipulate.
To research,
Mhm.
to research with Anderson and
yeah. Because they did mention it would have to, 10 to 30, is it correct? 30
Mhm.
days. That too has to be approved, and there's still.
They tell her approval, yeah.
Okay, so we could take it back to client acquisition team, just to get an idea of what.
Yeah.
But, we look for the, sorry,
Anyone can-
we look at 60 days, 60 days, 60 to 90 days after the policy has been dispatched. So that's the when count.
Okay.
Then we need 2 to 3 months to deliver the first contract.
Right, I'm glad you said that, because it will have to be more than like that from a company standpoint. But legally, when we call the 10-year, you have to other claim, you receive contract, maybe. That is, when the client receives it.
Correct. Correct.
I mean, says. The document.
Yeah, that's the legal way we have here.
Legally.
So the 10-day free look period is from when the client receive the policy. So if Roger keep that policy for 3 months, right? And then give the client has 10 days from then.
Right. There's 2 different scenarios you're talking about.
Mhm.
We're talking about money. Money that was speaking.
Mhm.
Commission that generated. So you kept it in your possession for 3 months.
Mhm.
The client has their 10 days.
Mhm.
You take it back.
Cause you don't deliver.
So what we're trying to say, get it happen. If it actually happened here, that is fantastic. But this is it's a problem.
Mhm.
A product. It's not the possible.
Yeah.
It's been a draw. Yeah. So I was just segue. I want to make sure everybody knows that.
So
We went to churn and replacement. Right.
before you move off of that, so we still have the issue of the printing the policies, right? So we got policies that haven't been printed like for 4 months.
That would be.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of the, but was it raised to the PP? I understand. Julian. Well,
As a matter of fact, I think we got a memo from them
And that contract.
Yeah.
saying the contracts on hold and so on.
the contract, so
The printing of the contracts was put on hold because they had an issue with the printer or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something.
this is the first time I'm hearing about that. So,
Mhm.
so we'll take a note of that as well. To I don't remember. Yes.
In regards to what David just said, I had a contract that haven't been printed as yet, because the allocation made last year. And when they queried it, it said it was a registered.
Not registered. So not it means that it was.
So now it's still put on further hold because none of the contracts aren't being printed.
Not registered.
That's an old error because they don't think that saying that's happened often.
But I know when it queried it, it
So
was a-
sometimes it does generate, so when they read their reports and stuff like the contracts or the cases, it doesn't generate some
What's the
policy.
difference?
Right, so then you have to enter it manually, then to have the contract to come off and stuff like that. So sometimes that's the issue that sometimes too often happens.
Yeah, happens often. But yeah, no.
Maybe we should document these
Mhm.
issues, because I've never heard any of this. I don't know if it was raised in the client acquisition, remember I'm saying that.
Right. Right.
Don't fit my realm. But if there's something that happens in the Salesforce, we should know about it, Greg should know about it.
Right.
So it should be documented.
Mhm.
And so that Greg could reason on an executive level to get it fixed, because
Mhm.
4 months on a policy contract, what do people think they I mean, how was that looking on all these clients viewing Guardian?
Right.
24 months on a policy contract is unacceptable. So, I think we should be.
Mhm.
So, but we need clawback when
I know,
it's
but I just
been
think-
delivered. So when it has been dispatched. So if it is that it's in 3 to 4
Right.
months, you have that. And I would love to see an example of 2 policies.
Mhm.
And to see how it has been treated on the system. Because
Right.
I would hate to think that it's not being printed. Yes, somebody said it was dispatched and closed by commission.
That's what policy.
Right.
So if I could just get school examples, just to check and make sure that stopping people.
I don't think that happened.
Yeah, I just want to make sure.
Printing.
But yes, we should be that.
Mhm.
That is,
Mhm.
It's an executive level.
Right. Mhm.
Convention. Major change for convention. You already rules, but up to last time, Greg and O'Neill from Jamaica made another change. So that's why you all have not seen the rules as yet. But I'm here, I'll be doing that amendment. You know, it's 20% max on IPIs.
Mhm.
IPIs and like IPIs, SOS, the USL SOS,
And this for convention.
this convention.
Minimum 6% for MDRT. APA 6% for MDRT,
Yeah, it's MDRT, yeah.
but 20% for convention.
20%, but it's 20% total IPI, SOS, and lump sums.
Right.
Put them together.
Mhm.
And a new thing being added for convention this year. You only get 20% credit for lifestyle funds. So,
Lifestyle,
yeah, before you say full, like,
you mean the saving? Oh, right, the pension paying. Same thing then. Yeah.
Before you get a full 100%.
Wow.
So,
So where did you say to change that?
But I think it's 20%.
Yeah. APA, lifestyle pension, yeah.
100% online. So the push is very light business.
Right.
Okay, but you always say it in the rules, but I just want to let you all know
Mhm.
it's a major change
Right.
from what was there before.
So before.
No, there was 20%, and lots of 20%, but you're getting all lifestyle. But it's getting all of that. No, we're not getting all of that. All the other annuities.
Correct.
The SSN, all those things.
Everything is
So SPIE is,
penny.
it's part of the 20% with IPI.
Anything to do with pension. I noticed that they put in aspirants now.
Yes.
You can explain that.
That is new for,
So when somebody qualifies as an aspirant, what happens? What they get?
you can go to the convention without having to make people amount. So,
They still go to
yeah, we have
the whole thing?
for free.
So everybody should be getting conventions.
Everybody won everybody, the amount, qualification amount,
Mhm.
especially for Barbados, is less than 2016 figures.
Mhm.
So for a fact, I was like,
Then they increase it again, though, right?
no, I gave a range. I gave a range. I did give a range and I gave a suggestion.
Right.
Right, my limit.
Okay.
But that's it.
Cool.
So it's still less than 20. I think it's even less than 2014 figures. Huh? So you know, you give away the pension money.
How many still support qualified?
Their manager, so you see, based on the performance of the team, and the manager qualifies double business class.
Wow.
Yeah, based on the performance of your team.
Mhm.
So you know the team will make you go. I just put it out there.
Yeah, you heard that? Issue business.
So yes, that's so and the other time. So that's the convention. Here's the word. Before I put down today, what was the question? You want to know about reasonable time?
What's the reasonable time?
I need to put it in the comment. Because here's the word to get it month after the event.
No, okay.
Well, in your opinion,
And it is not, it's Chris.
you always think.
They always pay. They always pay Andrew.
I have.
For it's a competition.
Which company?
This is the end of March.
Parts of,
Okay.
yeah.
So Hearts of Guardian, there was a miscommunication. With Hearts of Guardian, when she close and get to Shanice's heart, because the winners will give up. I think there was
Payments will be, or just to receive the prize, but the payments were, payments will,
Payments were made by Cassius.
yes, yes, just the
Prize.
price.
We should be able to mix up. Okay. So we had to do sort of clarification.
It's still.
When we were told everybody got their prices, I was given it was sent to me. I approved it. Didn't get the, what they did not.
Yeah, have to know. Have to know.
No.
Because after I put the Shanice, would have advisory then, it would have been, who would be handling it? They did receive the email.
Last Monday.
Yeah, right.
Last
But
Monday.
today, they have not received.
I could tell you that however long ago, when we realized that there was a miscommunication, and she wrote me, I put it on Friday. So I was under the impression I saw the invoices, so I was under the impression that the prices. So that means as we're here, yes, as we're here, we will, yeah, we will get to the bottom. Yeah. Okay. That's right. No, she take it notes. Yeah. She be so shocked. Yeah, because she was actually very involved in that process. So we were all under the impression that it was done. Yeah. So that's your question. So specific to that competition. Okay, good. See, I see things and I'm blanket weak. That's why we have to go specific.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So I don't want to, because I know you have been waiting and while you're in here, money not being made.
That's right.
So we just want to come to the specific purpose of the persistency, because I'm sure everybody wants to get their full bonus.
Mhm.
And convention says the word. Yeah. So I'll hand you all over to Sinead now. We'll do a quick rundown and answer all the questions. It's gonna show you how to calculate the consistency. It's gonna tell you what affects the consistency, how we can bring things back. So ask what.
I don't know. So just piggybacking off of one thing that Jen said in terms of the statements, how she said to download it. So yes, it's on the portal for 5 years, but the reason why we want you all to download it is that we don't know how long IT will keep this information on the system. So for your benefit, just have a record. We want you all to download it and keep it safe. That was it. Okay, for you, SINEAD. Yeah, this one here, DE, because there's another person with the same spelling. So DE, EAD. And my last name is this one here, DE. Pearson. DE. Or SON. PER. Yeah, because there's another Sinead with the same spelling. Yeah, Sinead, compliance acquisition.
You know, I know. Yes, everything. Not the pronunciation. So I can relate. I understand.
Okay, so today I'll be presenting on persistency. So currently there are 4 types of persistency. The first one is the 2-year persistency. The second one is bonus persistency. The third one, convention persistency. And the fourth one, 5-year bonus persistency. So the first one, 2-year persistency, is based on all business settled within a 2-year period. The second one, bonus persistency, is only based on bonus payable policies within a 2-year period. Convention persistency is based on business done within the convention period. And the 5-year bonus is, as the name says, is based on 5 years. Okay, so for persistency, one thing I would like to say is that I know that when it comes to persistency, a lot of agents don't take into consideration the business falling off the books. And when I say business falling off the books, I mean that it no longer counts towards your persistency, right? So the 2-year persistency is based on a 2-year period. So every month, your persistency is likely to change because every month will be considered a new 2-year period.
Right. So even the good cases will come off.
Correct. So even if you still have active cases on the books, it would not count towards your persistency anymore. So you all might have policy settling on the 18th, the 19th, the 20th. It would not wait until the actual date to fall off, but it looks at the month.
Right.
So if you June the 11th, 2022, it will not wait until June 11th, 2024. As soon as we start June, it falls off.
Right.
So that is why I get a lot of queries saying that last month I ended in 95 and I see the persistency 80. What happened?
Right.
And no lapses occurred.
Right.
So this is just a
everybody understand that, right?
Yeah.
so this is
Good cases come up.
Good cases,
Mm-hmm.
We'll go to 2 years, go to 3 years now.
and cases fall off on the first of the month.
on the first of the month. So when a lapse falls off, your persistency is likely to go up because you no longer have that negative block of business. But the opposite happens when a rebate or reinstatement falls off. When a rebate or reinstatement falls off, you no longer have that positive block of business, so your persistency goes down. So a lapse is a negative figure, right? So when you have that negative figure no longer counting, it goes up because they don't have a minus. But a reinstatement and rebate is a positive figure. So when that positive figure falls off, you don't have that positive adding towards your persistency, so it will fall off. So I use the word rebate, but eventually, I would say, I think next year, because when did they stop rebates?
Yes, yes, sorry.
So in 2025, essentially, we will start to see persistency remaining at the 100 because the reason why this will go off is because of those rebates. Because when you redate a policy, you change the issue date.
Right.
And I could give a live explanation of how it would affect your persistency, right? Because you have a lapse and you redated the policy. So the original issue date was June, and you redated the policy to, let's just say, August, September. So when June 2024 came, that lapse fell off. So because you no longer have that negative block of business, but you still had the positive from the redate,
Right.
your persistency went up.
Right.
Now we fast forward to September. You have that positive block of business falling off. So your persistency goes down. So when a lapse falls off, your persistency is likely to go up because you no longer have that negative block of business, but you still had the positive from the redate, your persistency went up. Now we fast forward to September. You have that positive block of business falling off. So with no lapse to compensate it. So because you have 10,000 or 5,000 in a rebate with no lapse, your persistency will go down.
Right.
So because we could only reinstate now, if you have a policy with an issue date of June and you reinstated it, it's going to carry the same issue date of June.
Right.
So when June 2024 comes, you have 5,000 in a lapse falling off, 5,000 in a reinstatement falling off. So the only thing, so it would not affect your persistency. The only thing that would affect your persistency would be the settlement.
Right.
Because using the same issue date of 5,000, you no longer have 5,000 in settlement towards your persistency. And a lot of agents think that only lapses, surrenders, redates, and reinstatements affect your persistency. Settlement would affect your persistency as well because you would have gotten credit for the settlement. So because that settlement is falling off, it will negatively affect you as well. So this is something else.
Use the opportunity to talk about how reinstatement and churn.
And churn,
Well,
It's how churn and replacement, sorry.
replacement.
Affects you.
okay, well, I'll touch on that just now, right? Another thing that also affects as well. So you take over an open policy and you had it reinstated. Yes, at some point, so if this is done manually by sales admin once a copy of the service question is provided, right? So we would give you the persistency, and yes, your persistency will go up. But it's the same kind of concept that will happen because the persistency that you got has to follow. So because we gave you 4,000 from that reinstatement of the orphan policy, you had an extra 4,000 in your reinstatement line. So when that period comes with a fall off, it will negatively impact your persistency. And right, and I remember what I was going to say. So just because you had a policy that lapsed and let's just say you lost 5%, if you put it back, if you reinstate it, it does not mean that you're going to get back 5%. The only way you can get back 5% is if your persistency remain, you did no settlement, no lapses, no reinstatements. That's the only way you can actually get back that 5%. But if you lost 5 and you had more settlement and, well, you had more settlement, if you put this 5,000 back on, they could get 3% or 2%. So that's one thing to take into consideration, that just because you lost a percentage does not mean that you're going to get back the same exact percentage when you put the policy back on.
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of churn and replacement, so it is a report that we would normally get by the data analyst team, right? So once it's reflected, we would act on a churn accordingly and act on a replacement. And a churn is if you surrendered a policy or if you lapsed a policy and then you took out one right after, especially if you surrender a policy, you surrender 5,000 and take out 5,000. That's considered a churn. You get a manual clawback for that. So that is one of the GAs that can be reflected on your commission statement.
Right.
And well, the replacement would be if the policy lapse and the client could not afford to reinstate, they have the option of taking out a new one, but they have to do the form. But with the form, a lot of agents, I realize, think that just because I do this form means that it's going to be considered as a replacement. It's not. The form is standardized. You have to do it, but there are certain guidelines, like let's just say the policy lapsed and you took out a new one, I think within 6 months, I can't remember offhand, but it has to be within a certain time frame for it to be considered as a replacement. If you had a policy that lapsed 2 years ago and you take out a new one, it's not considered as a replacement. And
2 years.
And that is one thing to take into consideration with the persistency as well, because yes, it could be considered a legitimate replacement, even if you had one taken out 2 years ago and you took out one 2 years ago, it lapsed, let's just say, the 22nd month, it's still within the persistency period, and then you took out a new policy within the period that you could take out a new one, right? There is no adjustment in the 22nd month, and let's just say you took out a new one 3 months after it lapsed. There's nothing for me to take away in terms of persistency because that lapse would have fallen off the month before you took out a new one. So that is one thing to take into consideration in terms of replacements, that in order to see the reflection of the persistency, the policy that lapsed has to be within the 2-year period for persistency.
Right.
So because it is a report that we normally get from the data analytics team, your policy may not be reflected there, but you all are free to send me an email to query, to confirm or whatever. And if it isn't, I would always respond asking the data team if they could confirm if this is considered as a replacement as it has been done before. And if they confirm, I'll process it. If it's not, I'll have to reply and let you know, well, they deem this not a replacement.
What she says, process it. Basically, we calculate your consistency manually, yeah? So that is, there is a manual click she has to do. So you have to let us know. That is a genuine replacement, so that she can basically determine it.
Right. So what makes it a genuine replacement?
Well, based on the guidelines, recommended center,
Well,
yes, and it would have instances, and we have seen the question that will come to this now. It has some, if there are instances where, you know, you know your clients, you know somebody might have a particular situation, it may need to be escalated to the executive level, to correct level, to be adjudicated, to be treated as a replacement.
Right.
So we just sit down and go, well, I get that thing. If you think that it's a genuine replacement,
mhm.
visit it with your manager, who then escalate it with her. And still need with that. Recalculate your.
Two questions. So the first question is, you just mentioned if you took over our credit portfolio, you'll be credited you put it to further to that.
Manually, once a copy of the service question is provided,
Right.
a signed copy of the service question. And it has to be
Dated.
signed and dated because the date is very important because the date, for auditing purposes, the date is what I need for me to determine whether I can give you the credit or not. Because if the date is not there, because you could have taken out a policy, as I've seen before, you could have reinstated a policy on the 10th, but the date on the service questionnaire is 20th. Because of that, I'm unable to give you the credit and for auditing purposes because I need the service questionnaire for me to confirm that yes, you're the servicing client and that the client advised you to reinstate it. But if you have the date after it was reinstated, that is a red flag for me and it will be a red flag for the auditing team because they might have a friend for the policy back on in client acquisition. Not saying that they do that, but that's the reason why. But that's the reason why that date is important.
I don't not work hard for us to credit the consistency because I know there's some agents in here, including myself, that have taken over our portfolio, but we're never credited for that.
So after this service form, consistency becomes.
That is a manual process.
With that. Recalculate.
Do that, but that's the reason why. But that's the reason why that date is important.
I don't not work hard for us to credit the consistency because I know there's some agents in here, including myself, that have taken over our portfolio, but we're never credited for that.
So after this service form, consistency becomes.
That is a manual process. So you have to let me know
Like I
that
said,
you reinstated this policy.
you hear that one?
To put to the open policies, if you reinstate it, you have to let me know that you did this reinstatement so that I can manually give you the persistency. Because it's a manual process. Because the reason why it's manual is because for Guardian right now, once a policy is under 2 years, you're not allowed to change the commissionable agent on the policy. Reason being is that you take over the policy today and a week later the policy happens to lapse. And if they put you on as a commissionable agent and the policy lapses, you will get a clawback. Your persistency will be affected and you never got paid for it in the first place. So that is why it's a manual process. And after 2 years, it's then changed to read you as a commissionable agent because after 2 years, if a policy lapses, you don't get any clawback. Oh, as I said that, sorry for cutting you, I just remembered in terms of clawback. So one thing to remember as well that when you do increases on policies, that in terms of the clawback, right? So there are 3 core rules. in terms of how you get clawed. So if your persistency is under 85%, regardless of how many premiums you paid, you will get a full clawback. But if your persistency is over 85% and more than 6 premiums were paid, you would just get clawed the unearned portions. If you pay 10 months, you'll get clawed back 2 months, right?
Right.
But what I see a lot in terms of increases, I don't think I've seen it really for Barbados, but I'm just mentioning it, that if you do an increase on a policy, if you do an increase on a policy and you only had 3 months paid on it, right? And with a life, how it has cash value. So it's only when it has used up all its cash value, it lapses, right? So you did increase 2 years ago and only 3 premiums were paid, and the policy now lapses 3 years later. It would not affect your persistency because it's past the 3 years,
Right.
but you're going to get a clawback because only 3 premiums were paid on the policy. So naturally, we have to claw you back. Well, the system is an automatic process. The system would claw you back based on your persistency at the time of lapse. So that's one thing to take into consideration in terms of increases. That just because it's past the period, make sure that 12 premiums are paid on the policy so that you wouldn't get a clawback.
That's love, yeah.
You only get a clawback because they're not 12 premiums are in.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So in regards to that then, will the agent then be able to have a little backup on the offer claims that were transferred? Can we send that to you?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Send it there, right? So we don't have to go through that.
That's just not.
Okay, cool. Alright, so the next thing is.
Yes, that's true, Alexa.
Alright, so,
Yes. We put that so that is, she knows what's happening, she could follow up, and also we get flooded with emails.
Okay.
So it'll be good to come, all right, Alexis, let me deal with it.
Okay.
And she will always follow.
Okay, sure. The next thing is for the replacement policy. Is it still where you will only be credited half the commission and half the persistency? For a replacement. Yeah, but it's still done. Okay.
But you only get 50% commissions if 12 premiums were paid through. So if when a policy lapses, you got a full clawback, you are entitled to the full commissions on the new one.
Okay.
But if more than 12 premiums were paid on the previous one, it's 50% commissions on the new one. But we take away the lapse from the policy, from the persistency.
So 50% of the commission.
Yeah.
That you were supposed to get.
Yeah.
Right.
Samantha, if you were not related to the first time.
50%.
I'm not sure because within the first year, that the persistency.
So decrease is actually the same concept as a lapse. So when you decrease a policy, the portion that was decreased is what would affect you as a lapse. As a persistency, sorry, which is actually as a lapse. Same thing for the same principle. Yeah. And you would get clawback commissions as well. Because less than 12 premiums are paid. If you decrease the policy in the second year, and when I say second year, I mean more than 12 premiums paid, because second year, because a lot of agents think that when the policy is in the second year, I'm not going to get clawed back. Yes, it could be in the second year, but you will get clawed if 12 premiums were not paid. So in order to not get clawed back commissions, when more than 12 premiums are paid, and then you do the decrease, it will just be the persistency, which would be treated as a lapse.
I don't know if we could have a discussion though. So a decrease, right? And the policy is still paying, right? In my opinion, shouldn't really be a lapse, or it shouldn't affect persistency, but it would affect the percentage of business that's still there. So that's something that I don't know if we can have a conversation about.
But remember, it will affect the API.
Yeah, and the API should drop. The API should drop. Because the case is still in force, the persistency should remain. That's a discussion. But I'm only saying so because I see that operate at other companies, right? If you reduce, it doesn't affect your persistency, but it affects your API.
Well, API is part of consistency. Yeah.
You were
Which is
in
settlement.
another company, right?
Mhm,
Together. And it was the same thing. When I was there,
mhm.
it was the same concept.
As this?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And if we, though we calculated consistency differently,
Right. Yeah, but a reduction then reduces consistency.
it did affect your consistency.
Well,
But
well,
it's
well,
not equally. It was the same calculations, that's why I think it affects you more
here. Mhm.
than it affects.
Okay, so what based on what you're saying, because it should affect your consistency, just not as a lapse. Maybe reducing your settlement. But
It should reduce your APA.
still affect
Your
your
APA should
consistency.
drop.
It will still affect your consistency,
But-
just not as great as if it will lapse.
So a lapse, your persistency is supposed to be affected by lapses.
Yeah.
Right? Persistency speaks of the percentage of business that continues to be paid or dropped off. So the case hasn't really dropped off.
Past 2 years?
If you reduce a premium, the case hasn't dropped off. It's just a decrease. So the mass of business, the 100% of your business, just reduce it. So maybe it gone from 180 to $160,000 because of that reduction.
Should still affect your consistency. Because
Well-
remember, you would, so that 180 would have gotten.
But I know this how you've been taught.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm telling you from a different company that a reduction doesn't reduce your position. No, I don't mean the company you're talking about.
Yeah.
I mean previous company. Huh? Yeah.
Actually, I know, he was going there. Let's bring it up in production focus.
Yeah. I was saying so. Yeah.
I hear what you're saying.
Mhm.
I will bring it up with you. I hear what you're saying, I hear what you suggested.
You're right.
And look at the suggestion, look at the suggestion. The. Conversation, yeah. Yeah, so let's bring it up there. And-
Right.
Because we can't change the policy now.
Exactly. Yeah. Sorry.
But that is it really for consistency. I could just.
Okay.
Show you, which I can also send this sheet after so that you all could also tweak it to know that what your persistency is likely to go to. So let's just say you put 50,000 on. Okay, persistency.
So we can actually use it.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the line on top would have been what you would have ended the previous month,
And
with, right?
calculate automatically.
Yeah. So the first line is what you ended the previous month with, right?
Mm-hmm.
The line that says less would be the business that you're going to put falling off the books, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's just say you have 5,000, but minus 5,000.
You stay here with your name?
So when that minus 5,000 fell off, the persistency went down to 94.20, right? So you have to remember settlement is a contributing factor to your persistency. So let's just say that same policy that fell off, it lapsed at some point in time and it's falling off. And you have to put a minus because if the minus means that it's not counting it anymore, right?
Right.
You see how it jumped to 98.66. So you see the difference in how settlement affects your settlement as opposed to lapses.
Right.
Because the factors that they want the lapses to affect you more because it's supposed to be a deterrent that they don't want your business lapsing.
Right.
So it's the same concept that you could put on 50,000 and the persistency only jump to that.
Right.
But with a 50,000 falling off, there's a big difference. The same 50,000. So it's just.
And when you said that here, this becomes really important. At the end of the, and then I keep it to wait till the end of the year, to wait for the last quarter.
Right.
Use the projections. No one could really state so much as a one business. This is what I want my consistency to review. Because what we have is people come to Sinead. I want to bring on this. Some of what my consistency is. You do it yourself. You're doing clients. You have your listings. I tell everybody print a lapses and restatement report that is on portal, printed every month. So don't come in November tell Sinead, I need to know all my lapses for the year. There for you, print it, work on it. Right? Bring people back on. It's easy to bring somebody back when they last 2 months than 8 months. And then everybody concerned about solution. We want people to qualify for awards. We want to pay people their awards. But we have a long list of people every month we sell the awards. At the end of the year, one person in this category. That's something bad.
Right.
So utilize, we'll send this, utilize it. Alexis, we'll make sure you understand it properly so that you could. Yeah. So I don't want to be the point.
Yeah.
We'll send the information.
Right.
So
Okay.
I seen you over, and we did promise to finish at 11.
Right.
You all have any specific questions that you want us not related to consistency, because you can always send it to us.
Right.
That we'd like us to address, even if to send something to even Alexis after.
Yes. Payment of bonus.
Yeah.
Bonus payment, not publicity related, but for bonus.
Which was a 5-year bonus.
I think it's that.
The one in June and December, the one in the end.
Oh, that's consistency.
Oh, that's related.
Oh, that's consistency.
Yes, yes.
Hey, get Roger Chan.
Malfunction.
On in again, Roger boy.
So, yes, right. Yeah. So, any other questions? And as I said, feel free. I'm trying to be fair. Sinead is unfair. So you can feel free to.
Somewhere.
Yeah, but she's something. You know, her name was Mohammed, but Mohammed and all was gonna say Sinead Mohammed. Then she went and got married. Sinead is unfair.
Match it
You know?
up.
Yeah, that was fancy. But we also have a queries mailbox. But I really like to channel queries through the mail.
Right.
Yeah. So that's we have one point of contact. Yeah, if we mail sent, well then you can contact. Yeah, any other questions? Go ahead.
I just wanted clarity as it related to the orphan cases, in terms of reinstating those. Because so from what I understand, what you said just now is if an agent has orphan and they reinstate, so do you reinstate first and then
No, you have to do the service question.
do service question
And then reinstate.
and then reinstate?
Yeah.
But that would then have to come through, because here, in customer service here, we cannot submit a service questionnaire for agent change if the
Which is
policy is
fine,
not active.
but the date
Mhm.
is what is the.
The date that the service questionnaire was completed and also the reinstatement.
So, essentially, if you, this is how I think it's supposed to be, that if you approach a client that is an open, the first thing you should do is really the service questionnaire. Because once you have done the service questionnaire, this is you doing business on behalf of the agent. So you would have then gone and reinstated the policy after. So essentially, that's how it should be. The service questionnaire has to be done first, and anything else after. Because I go based on the date on the service questionnaire. So if you reinstated the policy on the 10th, but the date on the service questionnaire is the 20th, it doesn't prove to me that you actually did it. And audit would flag it because I gave you credit based on a date, but the date is before the service questionnaire.
So that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Before or after, right?
This is, the procedures, then there's another information then that processes and procedures in Trinidad and Tobago, if they're not safe. Because they would say you can't make any changes to this if it's in a lapse. So how do I go ahead and change the information for our author to the active agent at the policy?
No, but you know, there's the paper. The paper, the actual paper. The date that the agent signed, and then I've seen this client on 18th of July. The policy lapsed. You can't do anything with it. But when it comes to consistency recalculation, it had to be done. The service questionnaire date of 18th of July has to be before.
Yeah. Okay, so then you go ahead. The client is proceeding with reinstatement, you reinstate, and the service questionnaire, which would have been done before the reinstatement, because it would
Submit that day.
and you will submit that then, so that the agent then will get the person.
Yes, because I do that manually, yes.
Ah.
I need as a service question.
Oh, because then it would back on it would be active
Yeah,
policy.
yes.
But is that only for case, is that only for the policies that are within that 2 year?
Yeah.
So if it's a case registered for 2016 and it fell off.
It don't matter. It don't matter.
Even if I manually gave it to you, then nothing would happen.
I bring it up before the work. We are moving. Not to say, but we are moving to a 3-year consistency. And then to 5 years, so it will then make a difference.
So the
So
year,
let's do
the year that it was enforced was going
Yeah, so they are looking at, I think Fred is going to bring it up in the meeting tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, it's only because OIPA is coming on board that things are slowing down in terms of the changes they could make. But 3-year consistency is something that they'll be looking at. And 5-year consistency is here.
Great.
So yes, it will matter.
So the year.
It matter then.
Also, it's replacement because from based on the guidelines and stuff, once it's within that 5-year period, you still have to submit the replacement form. But then it still really isn't considered a replacement if it isn't within 2 years.
Great.
In terms of the, okay.
Mhm,
In terms of
mhm.
consistency and conditions and stuff like
Yeah.
that. This way, some clarity.
Are y'all here for how long? Till tomorrow?
Yeah, it's tomorrow. Well, I'm here till July 30th. During the festivities.
You here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Maybe not physically.
No, I don't work a little bit, but
Yeah.
You're here. Okay, good. All right. So we good, we finished.
This kind of business.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So we could get back to you on that. There's a response. Yeah. But we want to take up these, we'll have, weeks, too long. I don't have anything to take the time, although was not our fault. I was gonna say thank you very much. Thank you for everything. And thank you for listening. Thank you for asking questions. And we looking to keep the David Hill branch 90%. We say we say yeah and we clap already. So we're looking for going for 102%, 115% of quota. I just say
So I want to thank Genevieve and Sinead.
Thank you.
Listen, I knew the name. I used to call her Sinead. Then introduced me to her this morning. I know her. It's when I said, "Oh, hey, understand who it is I talking to, you know." Yeah. And y'all wouldn't know this, but this branch is the least favorite branch of Bourbon. Right, so we really want to thank these guys for coming and sharing everything with us, and we look forward to having y'all next day fairly soon. Next quarter.
Yeah, talk to Greg.
Talk to Greg.
We look how long this was gonna make it, a year. We've been trying to come in for a year. So finally got the
For whatever, yeah. All right, so I know y'all like being here, but be free to go. Yeah?
Thanks again, everybody.
Thank you. All right, guys and ladies, we're gonna leave, you know. Y'all still with us? Anybody? Are we leaving?
I'm here. Here, bye-bye.
All right.